Today I want to show you one very simple but very important lighting technique that will add more environmental context to your renders and will make instantly your renders more aesthetic and realistic. So as you can see here, I have this interior scene and I also have a lot of light objects that are illuminating the scene. I have one spotlight shining from the top and making the computer focus object, which is illuminating and bringing focus to the computer. I have a second spotlight, which is illuminating the rest of the wall. I also have a third spotlight, which is essentially backlighting and creating highlights on this chair. But the main light, which is illuminating most of the render, is located outside of the room and illuminating the room through the window. Now, since the main light is a lot stronger than most of the lights in the scene, it also creates a biggest contrast between the exposed and not exposed areas. And honestly, the lighting is not bad, but here's how we can do it better. When you look on the render, based on this highlighted area, you would most likely assume that the light is coming through the window, which means that it can be either a sun or a street lamp. And the thing is, it's very unlikely that the light from the sun or from the lamp will go directly from the light source through the window to the wall. Because usually there is some object that is blocking a certain percentage of the light that is locating between the light source and between the target, which creates that interesting shadow pattern on the illuminated area. This is called GOBOS. Now watch what happens when I add one of these objects between the light source and between the object. We can immediately see what's happening right here. I just added blinds to the window, which created this interesting shadow pattern on the wall, on the computer, and basically across the whole illuminated area. By doing this, we can add additional context about the environment. It also makes the render more aesthetic. As you can see, all I did was that I added these blinds between the light source and the scene, which will divide the light into individual stripes that are projected on the wall. Now, since we are simulating outdoor lighting, we can add other outdoor elements, like trees, which have more randomly distributed geometry and making the shadow pattern more uneven. Now, using 3D models for this is not always necessary, because only this tree has over 100,000 vertices, which might be a lot if you don't have a strong computer. Luckily, this can also be achieved with textures. All you need is a two-dimensional plane and a grayscale texture that you can plug to the alpha channel, which will make the black parts transparent, so the light from the light source will only go through the transparent parts. So here we have the light, which is coming through the window to the room, which is creating that shadow pattern from the image and projecting the image to the walls. Besides the cool shadow pattern, also, since I'm using a volume as you can see here, what you will also get besides this cool shadow pattern is this cool light sunbeam effect, where the light rays are visible because the light particles are essentially cutting through the volume, and because we also have these objects that are partly blocking the light, it will create this ambient atmosphere, which can also contribute to the overall aesthetics of your render. This is the node setup which makes the plane look like this, and it's just very simple because all you need is image texture, which is plugged into the base color of the principal BSDF and also to the alpha channel to make the black parts transparent. And this is basically all. I just wanted to let you know that this method exists. Thanks for watching. Check out my shade guard library, which is a procedural material pack for Blender that comes with over 80 procedural materials that you can adjust, customize and animate. If you are interested, is the first link in the description, and I'm gonna see you in the next video. See ya.